Kapanen's an interesting guy, and I wanted to talk about the ceiling. What exactly is that for Kasperi Kapanen? Because as a 22-year-old who was drafted in the first round of 2014, he was a guy who, back when he was drafted, projected to be, let's say, a middle six, top six kind of guy for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Obviously, he became a Leaf in the Kessel trade, which was a very significant moment in the history of the Maple Leafs. But Kapanen is probably, let's just say, the fastest guy on the Leafs, bar none. Arguably a top 7, top 6 player in the NHL in regards to speed. He's arguably one of the fastest in the league after McDavid. And we've seen it throughout the career of Kapanen that he is capable of contributing offensively. And that was his main shtick. When he joined the Leafs, when he joined the Marlies, he was an offensive dynamo. Not necessarily with the Leafs, because his finishing does need a little bit of work, but he was primarily focused on galloping forward, striding in the offensive zone with the puck on his stick, but it was really with the Marlies in the most previous seasons, as well as the Leafs as well, that Kapanen's defensive two-way game has legitimately been improving. And it is to this conclusion that Kapanen is definitely going to be a Leafs penalty killer next season. And it'd be pretty easy to put your money where your mouth is and say that, yeah, he's most likely going to be a good penalty killer. So what exactly is the ceiling for him? Because at 22 years old, he still has a ton of years to grow. In his most recent season with the Toronto Marlies, he boasted 24 points in 28 games, and playing with the Maple Leafs, he grabbed himself 7 goals, 9 total points in 38 games. In the playoff run, he got himself 1 goal. So Kapanen definitely hasn't had the same amount of success as he's had with the Leafs as he has with the Marlies on a statistical offensive production level. But if you watch the game, you watch how he does on the third line, on the penalty kill, you just love watching him play. He's like a fireball out there, and he works so hard, and it is this work ethic that has allowed him to succeed, and it's allowed him to be himself out there on the ice. So, we've talked about the finishing ability just a tiny bit, but I think him working on that would ultimately benefit him to great lengths, because the work ethic, he's got that. The skating, he's got that. Defensive awareness, he's been improving on that steadily throughout his years with the Marlies and the Maple Leafs. So, going into 2018-19, I think it's obvious to see that Kapanen is going to be a full-time NHLer, most likely in a top 9 role alongside of Nazem Kadri and Andreas Johnsson. Of course, the top 6, Marleau, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, Matthews, Hyman, that's already kind of stabilized right there. So going forward into next season, as well as the seasons beyond next season, what exactly is the ceiling for Kapanen? Well, I think it would be fair to say that his talent could be capped off at a top 6. In regards to points, we've seen him produce at point-per-game paces with the Marlies in previous seasons. In fact, in 2016-17, in 43 Marlies games, he had 43 points. So we've definitely seen it, that he is capable of that offensive production. It's just that in the NHL, his finishing and his playmaking ability will need a tad bit of fine-tuning if he wants to produce at that same kind of rate. In fact, playing in the NHL, he's only had 2 assists in the 55 games that he's played. So definitely, his offensive visioning needs a little bit of work. But he is 22, right? He's got tons of time to work on that. And on top of all this offensive stuff that he quote-unquote needs to work on, basically every other aspect of his game is good. The skating, the work ethic, the defensive awareness, it's all getting up there. The defensive awareness could use a little bit of work as well, but for the most part, it's been increasing. The offense should come in years' time. It should. When Kapanen was drafted in 2014, he got 14 points in 47 games played with the Kalpa of the SM Liga. This was the full top-tier league in Finland, and he was already playing in there. As a 17, turning 18-year-old. We've seen it in the top-tier leagues in Finland, and even in the AHL. His totals in the AHL are pretty good, 94 points and 40 goals in 119 games played, split between the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and the Toronto Marlies. Obviously, Kapanen is a guy with untapped offensive potential right here, but it's just a matter of working into things and waiting things out that is the ultimate barrier here that's holding us back from seeing his full offensive potential in the NHL. But for me, I see Kapanen going forward as a top 6 guy. Going forward in his prime, I can definitely see that. He's got the work ethic for it. The skating, it's already there. The offensive abilities will come with time. And honestly, I can really look forward to seeing Kapanen in a top 6 role on any NHL team come his prime years. Of course, it might not be with the Leafs, because there are a ton of top 6 worthy guys who are already top 6ers that could still be on the team by the time Kapanen hits his prime, but obviously, things are looking great for this young Finn. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're plus, thanks for watching Gaming, and bye.